Good day, everyone. In our previous lecture, we started with understanding the basics of Unity using a simple rollerball game. Let's start by looking some of the more advanced features of Unity. Students are requested to practice these features as we study them. It will be useful for them by developing their own AR and VR experience. So let's start by first looking at what are terrains. Let's create a terrain first to understand what it is. Terrains are basically used to create hills, mountains, along with trees, greenery. So they are a sort of an environment building tool. So let's see more details about it. To get the terrain in our scene, we click the plus menu under which the 3D object and the terrain under the 3D object. You see a terrain formed over here. This terrain is used to create various mountains, trees, and various forests and so on. So let's start by looking at the tools that are used to create this. The first tool that we will look at is the raise height or lower height tool. To get into that tool, you'll see the paint terrain option over there in the inspector menu. Click on that. Under that, you'll see a drop down menu where you see the paint texture. Under that, you see various options such as raise or lower terrain, paint holes, paint texture, set height, smooth height, and stamp terrain. Let's look at raise or lower terrain first. With this option, you can see various brushes you get as an option. These brushes are used to create different kinds of mountains or hills depending on what your requirement is. So let me show you a basic example. I have selected one of the brushes in the inspector menu. If I click on it, you'll see a single mountain that is being formed. If I keep on pressing it with my left click, the size of the mountain keeps on increasing, as you can see. If I keep on dragging it, you'll see that the continuous mountain is formed. Let's change the brush and see. Let's use the brush. Depending on the kind of brushes and depending on how long I hold the left click, the various mountains are formed over here. I can even make a star mountain, depending on what scenery I want to do. If I increase my brush size, which you see over here, I can form bigger mountains also. Now, this tool is very useful for creating the initial set of mountains onto your terrain. This again helps you create the mountains as you require. The brush size is the size of the brush, depending on how used you want the mountains to be. Now, the next tool is called as the paint height. Now, in this tool of raise or lower terrain, the height of the mountains is not controlled. As long as you keep on pressing the left click, the height of the mountains keeps on increasing. But the second option, set height, what it does, it actually sets a height to the mountain. So I'll show you that. If I click the set height and set the height of the mountain to be 20 and select one of the brushes, let's see what happens. I'll decrease the size of the brush. So right now I set the height to 20. What happens is as soon as the mountain reaches that height, it starts flattening. So over here you can see. Just I'll increase height so as to give you a better clarity. As you increase the size up to 50 height, it keeps on increasing. After that, it starts flattening out. You can see it very clearly over here in the option. It will this is again used to create flatter surfaces or flatter terrains. So when you want the mountain to be at a particular height and then to become flat, this is the tool that you'll use. The third tool that we have is smoothen height. Now what happens is a lot of places you see these sharp corners or these jagged corners which you want to kind of smoothen them out. So you use this tool to kind of smoothen the mountains. Let's use this tool and see. You see that over here, effect can be seen very subtly when the mountains are getting smoothened off. This is very useful to create smoother curves that are there in your mountains. So as basically, if you have very sharp corners in your mountains, you can smoothen them off using this tool. The next tool we have is the paint texture. Now, currently there is no texture applied. over here on the mountain. That's why it's all in a white color background. Now, if you want to apply this texture, let's apply a texture over here in this thing. So with that, we'll start by creating an edit terrain layer and create layer. Now, what I want to give the entire texture is like a green background. So I'll add a green grass background. You see, the first layer that you add, it takes up the entire terrain. So if I want to add a green grass layer texture, I add it simply over here, and the entire texture becomes green in color. You can see it on your screen. Now, what if I want to add roads, or what if I want to add stones or any pebbles or so? So for that, again, I'll click on the edit terrain layers over here that you can see. I'll say create layer, and I'll select the ground, the road ground. I'll select this road ground, and just to make sure the size of the brush is smaller, because I want to create smaller round, I just do that. Now you can see how subtly the road is created. I can create various roads. Right now I'm holding the left click and creating these roads. These roads are very useful for creating roads between the mountains or hills or so on. So this is how we use the various textures to actually give color, or basically give more importance to the entire coloring scheme and roads or any other things onto the terrain. Now, next we'll see. Yes, what we have seen is three things. We have seen the raise or lower height, we have seen the set height, we have seen the smoothen height, and the paint texture. This is the main thing that you'll be mainly using while developing your experiences. Now, you have made the mountains. Now, if I want to add greenery, if you want to add trees to the mountain, how do I do so? To do this, besides the paint terrain option, you see this paint trees. This option is used to basically add trees to your terrain. So I'll go a bit closer to the terrain. And right now there are no trees defined. So you can see over here, there are no trees defined. Let me click on edit trees and add a tree. If I add a tree, let's say I add a beech tree. Okay. Now I have added this tree. I'll just increase the brush size so it becomes easier for me to add the tree. So as you can see, wherever I click, a lot of trees are added over here. I can control the brush size, so I can create at one single stroke how many trees I want to add. I can increase the tree density. So how many trees I want to add per each click. I can select the tree height to be random so that they are of different sizes and so. We can use the mass place trees option also. So for example, I will use the trees at random over the entire terrain. So see, you'll see 5,000 trees that are placed all over the terrain in random by Unity. This is used when you want to mass place the trees. So you want to place a lot of number of trees without going in manually and trying to do so. Now, another thing that we look at is we looked at adding the mountains or the hills using paint terrain. We looked at how to add trees. Now let's go even much more finer. How do we add grass? Now I want to add grass in this current setup. For that option, we have this paint details as the option. Over here, we use this tool, we can add grass to our terrain. You have to go really close to look at these details. So in order to add grass, we'll go to this edit details. We click on edit details and say add grass texture. Now over here, right now there is no grass that is defined. So let's define a grass. So for my grass, I will select birch leaf. Let's say birch leaf. So right now what I'm using a fantasy environment out of these default grasses and trees have been used. You can use any kind of environment where you get free textures or trees or grasses from the asset store that is online. So I use that to basically download these tree assets and use it for understanding how to use them. So depending on how you want in the experience, what kind of trees you want, what kind of grass you want, you can get those in the asset store. So over here, if you go closer, you can see that there's this sort of grass that is added to your entire environment. Again, if you have to see the grass, you have to go a bit closer to your terrain. I would request students to play around with these options to actually understand how these are used. So So as you can see, the more I load my CPU, more it takes time, and I even click on the play button. That's how it's important to know about these settings, because you don't want to create such a heavy experience which is very difficult to run even on your laptop, let alone a cell phone. So that's want to be sure that my experience control F. As you can see in the preview window, right now what I'm doing is I'm rotating the camera. At the same time, let me just increase the height of this camera. So again, I can arrange my camera in such a manner so that I'm able to see what is going on in my entire terrain. However, because of the load that is coming right now on my CPU, because of all these trees and all, it's actually taking some time. But rest assured, it's actually going to show the effect of the camera of the design. So right now my camera angle is set. Still, I can improve it further to look at the grass and all. But I would say that put lesser number of trees and grass and start practicing with it so that you understand all these details that we are talking about right now. Now, the next 3D game object is basically how do you create a customized tree? Now, what happens is many times you're taking these trees which are pre-built from the asset store and all, but now you want to create your own customized tree. So how do you do so? How do you do so? Let me show you how do you create a customized tree. Okay. So first, let's save the scene. Let's not forget to save the scene, because what will happen in case if there is a crash in your Unity or if something happens, you should not lose the data or the work that you have done. So let's first save the scene. Now then again click on the plus menu over here, 3D object and the tree. Let's see where the tree is added. It's added at the origin right now. I'm trying to find where that origin is. Here it is. So the first time when you add a tree, it will look like this. It will look like a simple branch where now you have to add leaves, you have to add various textures, you have to add a lot of things. So first, let's look at the tree seed. Tree seed is basically, it is more of how the arrangement of the branches occurs. So you'll see that, okay, if I change the value, it shows me various arrangements. The area spread shows me how it's huge it is going to spread. So if you see the area spread, it's going to increase how thick the branch is going to be. The ground offset is if you have to offset the trees from the ground. If you have to have the ground offset in midair, you can use that. The geometry shows the level of detail of quality of the branches. So if you want to increase the level of detail of the quality of the branches, you increase the LOD quality or level of quality of the branch. Also, a lot of details you'll be see as you start working with these game objects in your VR experience. I would request you to definitely follow me carefully on this. Next, we create a three. Next, what we do is we have this option there. So now I've selected the branch option. I'll use seeds. So again, it shows me various combinations of it. I'll choose the frequency. So it will show me the number of trees that are there on the terrain. So the more frequency, the more number of trees I can see over there. For now, I just reduce the group C to a bit lower. I'm just interested in creating only a single tree for now. So now next what I see is I see the branch material, I see the break material. Now let's start actually adding materials to our trees. So what I say is now let's add the branch material. So if you see in the geometry menu, you see the branch material. So I'll add a birch leaves material over here. So again, it gives me an option and say apply. So if you look closer, wherever there was that square rectangle, it replaced it by the leaves texture. So you can see over here clearly how this leaves texture has been coming over here. So this is where you add the leaves texture in that material. So again, you can look at the size, you can look at how dense you want those leaves, how aligned you want those leaves, and the horizontal and the vertical alignment. So you can very much customize what your tree should look like, and that's the beauty of actually making a customized tree, because now you have control over it in a much more better manner. Now, once we have looked at these trees, we can make a lot of more trees. We have just looked at a part of how do you make these trees and all. What we need to do is now we need to actually put these trees in wind. What we need to create is something called as a wind zone. So what a wind zone does is a wind zone applies wind to different trees and plants nearby. So let's create a wind zone just to demonstrate how useful is a wind. So think about, you have various kind of trees. Now you want them to sway because of the wind. You want that realism or that effect to come into picture. So that's the reason you create a wind zone to basically create that wind that is moving the trees and so on. So now let's create that wind zone. Again, we click in the hierarchy menu, 3D object. You see the wind zone over here. The wind zone option will be created. Now over here, I am adding. So over here in the spherical and directional, so a directional wind zone is basically you have a direction to your wind. So because of the wind direction, it actually moves over here. And the spherical direction actually says what is the sphere, what is the radius of the sphere, what is the turbulence. So how much turbulent should you be your wind, and various other things. So this is very much useful, especially when you have to look at how huge is your wind, how much effect does it have on your trees and all. So I would request you to play with these options. You see the pulse magnitude, how much pulsating you want the wind to actually act on the trees. So these various options will help you control the kind of wind that is interacting with the trees. So let's see whether our sphere is actually interacting with it. to see the effect of the wind. I hope we can see the effect of the wind, because it depends on how we have placed the spear, how the actual spear interacts, how the wind spear interacts with the trees. So look at these options very carefully, because this is more of a trial and error to see exactly the kind of realism you want to see in your entire VR experience. So make sure this is the kind of option that you see in Unity. Right now it's loading that application because we have now put the play option. Now it's loading that application. So you can see on my screen that the leaves are moving because of the wind that we have put a wind zone, and that's why the leaves are moving in this, and we put in the play option. So we can even make it much more turbulent. We can make a tornado. So one of my assignments I have worked upon is creating actually a tornado where the leaves are getting sucked into because of the tornado. So this is the kind of realism effects you can add because of Unity and all these effects that are present over there. So in our next lecture, we'll start looking at the physics engine of Unity, which is one of the most important things to look at, especially because a lot of physics is involved while you're making Unity or your VR experiences in Unity. So let's understand the physics engine in our next lecture. Thank you very much.